Hi everyone, welcome to another exciting session of Business Central Essentials with Onpoint. And last time we talked about currency, and today we're looking at exchange rate. Joining me here is one of our good buddies, Stephen from Malta, and we'll be looking at exchange rate today. Hi, Steve.
Hello, hi, Chibu.
Yeah, it's nice to have you today. So we want to actually look at exchange rate and what are the different options when it comes to exchange rate on Business Central.
So, in summary, following or even last discussion that we had about currencies, the exchange rate, which obviously are a pivotal aspect of currencies, we have two options practically. So we either input the exchange rates manually, or else we use the system to actually automatically upload the exchange rate automatically into the system based on the different source on the source that we actually get to choose. Um, Both options are accounting-wise correct. However, obviously, the automation would help us reduce the errors and also drastically reduce the manual effort required to have an all updated exchange rate into the system.
But that's nice. So we are looking at moving from the manual process and into getting automated. So we would like to know, how does automation works when it comes to exchange rate?
So the concept is very simple. We have an XML from our currency exchange rate suppliers which ultimately get pushed into the system. Now, for example, here in Europe, there we have the ECB, which is regarded as sort of the go-to supplier, let's call it this way, for exchange rates, the go-to source. But it changes. So there are multiple options, there are multiple sources, and we need to consider it properly in view of our current system of well, a number of factors actually which come into play.
Okay, so that's well said. But want to know, because some people say, "Oh, is this does this work for me, or do I need to get a special license for this, or is this separate?" So we want to know, does this work for everyone, or is it just selective?
So yes, it does work for everyone. However, well, I already mentioned that we need to look into a number of criteria and factors. So let's give an example. Let's say that I have a company in Europe and a company in Nigeria, for example, and the companies trade together. Now, the exchange rate from my source and from your source may be different. And that's where this is a key factor which comes into play. And this is where we really should consider our source because I can use the ECB and we can use the Nigerian Central Bank as the source. However, that would lead to different exchange rates and ultimately differences in the intercompany transactions. And that's why we need to be very aware of this. So why is this applies for everyone? We need to be aware that the choice of the exchange rate source is a very important aspect. So what we strongly suggest is that whenever we have a multinational company, especially the ones which operate into different regions with different base currencies, in that case, the go-to supplier changes. It changes from the ECB, where the base currency is euro, to someone where the base currency changes. This would drastically minimize the different exchange rates in the intercompany transactions. There are a number of suppliers out there, so it really boils down to choosing the right one um, and actually setting up the system. Also, very important that we strongly suggest is always to get approval from your auditors. So it's not just a matter of choosing the supplier, choosing the source, so our supplier, but also getting confirmation from our auditors that that source is actually good, is actually acceptable from an audit perspective. Obviously, we need also to be aware that, for example, the ECB and other national banks, national central banks, are free of charge. However, this may not be the case for other sources. So obviously, there is also a financial implication which we need to take into consideration when it comes to choosing the source. However, having said that, once again, um, this does work for everyone. So it's a very important feature, the automation, which obviously has a number of advantages.
Well, that's actually fantastic. We have a lot of industries here in even Nigeria and also in Africa that operate within Africa and Europe. So this is something that will be very beneficial to them. But we also want to know, when do we get to override the system, sort of
So
restart
there's
us? Yeah.
so there's a specific transaction actually, which is there may be other ones, but the most important one is whenever we do a payment through a bank or other payment platforms. Speaking about foreign payments, obviously here, and the supplier, the bank or the platform, whoever they are, they provide us with a specific exchange rate. In that case, it's crucial. So it's not really an option, but it's very important uh, that we actually input manually the exchange rate provided to us by the platform or the bank in question. The reason being, if we do not do so, we may end up with a different difference on exchange, which gets calculated by the system, which obviously means wrong accounting. So it's very, very important that in that case, we actually input manually the exchange rate for the payment in question.
Okay, okay, okay. So depending on the bank or the source actually giving us. Okay, this is well understood. We actually gotten more insight on the exchange rate, and we also hope to learn more. So we have a lot of features which we are still hoping to learn in future sessions. So we thank you all for joining, and hopefully we'll see you on the next session with Business Central Essentials. Do have a nice day. Bye.